What's up guys, welcome back to the channel Telamont Tanthul, and today I'll discuss with you some build details on Nightcrawler should you decide to unlock him, whether through the shop or the event that he has or that we have right now. Okay, so I'll just throw it away that actually Nightcrawler is really fun to play, but he does, and I repeat, he does lack damage, and that's really kind of sad considering that a lot of the X-Men that we have right now do tons or massive damage even for a speed type like Quicksilver, for instance, the most annoying PvP character there is, right? In time, if you play Timeline, Quicksilver can pretty much one-shot you. But anyway, let's take a look at the build I have for him. Remember though that he's still at tier 1, but even if we get him into tier 2, let's see how much he would improve. So for the physical attack alone, he'll be improving like what, 1,300 only. And then the defense, it's even pretty low, just 1,000 for both physical, no, 1,000 for physical, and then some 100 and some 100 plus for energy. It's pretty low, right? Okay, so let's take a look at the details first. So he's able to max out his cooldown. Crit damage is pretty low as well as crit rate. Ignore defense, even though I chose the fourth skill here, the fourth gear to be ignore defense, is still pretty low at 33. But the attack speed, since I have a lot in my cards, that's why he's over the cap, and I also gave him Power of Angryok, so that's why. And then the Urus, I was only able to max out the first one, first of his gears, so for this, I gave him physical attack, some crit rate, and HP. Although once I get more Urus, I'll change this to either ignore defense or crit damage, and as well as the rest. As for the skills, first one is pretty much straightforward, so it's okay if you don't level it up. No, sorry, this one, it has a stun and then straightforward damage, and it's pretty okay if you don't level it up. Just let it stay at level 1. And then the second one also, yeah, the one that I showed earlier, still straightforward damage, no buffs or whatsoever, so level 1 is fine with this. The third skill though has bleed effect, so it's better if we buff this up so that the additional damage also gets buffed up. And then the passive, Into the Shadow, this is a tier 1 passive. It applies only to himself, and his dodge rate increases by 20%. Now take note, be very vigilant of the text type, or rather the text wording, because it only says dodge rate increase. It does not say guaranteed dodge rate increase, so this is still up to RNGesus to activate. Unlike, let's say, Emma Frost, her tier 1 passive actually gives her guaranteed dodge rate by 20%. So usually at the beginning of the fight, I noticed that when I played her in Timeline, the beginning of the fight, whenever she's hit, that guaranteed dodge rate actually activates. As for Nightcrawler, again, it's really pretty much up to RNG if it activates or not. And then he gets an increased attack, defense, as well as speed, which unfortunately really is not enough to buff his damage, overall damage. And then since the 4th and the 5th have buffs in them, I mean, I would advise that you level them up to 6. So it also has a fear and stun, and the 5th skill has no, actually, it does not have a buff in it, but this one deals most damage, so I would recommend still that you level it up to 6. The tier 2 passive, once you get him to tier 2, or if you even plan to get him to tier 2, this is what you can expect. It's gonna increase his skill damage to 32% and then bonus by 15%, as well as some increased attacks and defenses to the summon characters, which pretty much think all of his skills have. 1, 2 summon, 3 summon, 4 has summon, 5th has summon. And take note also that all of his skills have iframes in them. So that's why I said earlier that he's really fun to play, because you can, get around, troll your enemies and whatever, and then you don't get hit at all. But the base damage is really so pathetic. And then since he does lack in the damage department, I would recommend that you give him either Power of Hungry Hook or Overdrive. And then I gave him Guard Break Immunity just to make sure that he does not get interrupted whenever he does his iframes, and also some damage proc to help him boost a little, no matter how a little, his overall damage output. And maybe once we get his uniform, perhaps, or crossing fingers, he'll be, given a Baki-like treatment. Baki is practically a god in terms of damage output, so hopefully he'll get something like that, or even something close to Quicksilver. So right now I'll show you how fast or slow he can clear Shadowland floor 15. No leadership, no team up, just him. So we start with, or we open with the 4th skill for the buff, then the 5th skill. So as you can see, the damage is really not that great, right? Despite the damage proc. But those summons are really cute, right? It's kinda like Magic's 3rd skill. And then since he has a fear effect, you can pretty much, crowd control your enemies all the time. And as expected of his power, he really does move a lot, right? So it's pretty much difficult for the enemies to target him. Just a little bit more, and Kate Bishop should be dead by 1, 2, there we go. Made it in 31 seconds. And there you have it. Even though it's not as fast as we would have liked, but still we did clear it, and I was able to do it solo. I'll try to make an update video on this once I get him to tier 2. And again, if you want to support me, please hit like and subscribe, and if you want to get notified every time I upload a new content, hit that bell. Thanks, and see you next time.